Welcome everyone to the culinary medicine class. We're so grateful to have you here. Just a few housekeeping guidelines and a few things before we get started to the cooking. Everybody's microphones have been muted, so please go ahead and connect with us, engage with us through the chat. If you have questions as you go along today, put them in there. I'll be keeping an eye out and I will punt those questions over to Chef Alyssa as we go through. And hopefully everybody can see the video okay. We will be spotlighting Chef and the cooking in just a minute. And by way of introduction, this is your team you have, although Allison's not with us tonight, sadly, we miss her. But we do have Chef Alyssa, who's the star of the show. So she's
Hello.
a personal chef with over 25 years of experience, combines good food, good flavor, nutrition, focusing on healthy vegetarian meals. Her recipes have been featured in Vegetarian Times, Better Homes and Gardens, local cookbooks, such as Dash of Aloha. So we have a treasure with us today, all of her wisdom. And then myself, Heather, I'm one of the wellness coaches, and I'm based over here on the island of Maui. So you're in good hands. Now, for those of you, maybe this is your first time joining today and you're just trying to get a feel for what is this all about and what is so special about this whole food plant-based diet, I would venture to say there's really a lot to get excited about because this is the only diet shown to significantly prevent and reverse chronic diseases. You heard that right, team, right? Prevent and reverse chronic disease. Who doesn't want that, right? We're talking about chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease. That's a big, big deal. So what does this mean? What types of foods does this include? It celebrates food in its most whole and natural form. So closest to the way that it was grown. That includes our fruits, our vegetables, whole grains and legumes, nuts and seeds. And while we are celebrating those foods in their whole form, it's also minimizing the ultra processed foods. So those foods that are coming in boxes and bags and packages with lots of barcodes typically have a lot of refined sugars, the white flours, and animal derived foods. What happens is those foods over time create an excess load that our bodies are taxed with processing. It can lead to inflammation in the body and contribute to dis-ease. So this is what we're working towards. And I get that changing our eating habits, we've had them for decades, right? They're a big part of who we are, of our family histories. And it can be a little daunting to even consider this eating style. So I give yourself a pat on the back for even being willing to step into this arena. And so we want to make it as simple as possible. And we have this phrase up here on the screen. These are words coined by Michael Pollan. He's an American author. He's a journalist. He's written a lot of books about food and health. Maybe you've seen or heard of him. And he coined this phrase, eat food, not too much, and mostly plants. So we can follow that. And I'm guessing you guys come in here, you know that vegetables are good for you, right? And yet sometimes we just struggle to eat them. Sometimes they're not seen as being delicious. It's kind of a chore to eat them. And we hope to shift this mindset and open you up to a new way of experiencing healthy food because we want to love the food that's actually going to love us back. So while we hope to be planting these seeds of curiosity today, we also want to give you some more information if you want to take this a little step further. So I'm going to put a link into the chat here, and that will give you access to some videos on YouTube. These were done by Stanford School of Medicine called Food and Health, and it's got a lot of short 3 to 5 minute, you guys, just short practical information about why we should consider this and steps that we could take to move in that direction. Also want to draw your attention that in the confirmation email for class today, we include some links, not only to the recipes, which we'll be going over in a minute, but also to some handouts. And we hope you'll take a little bit of time to look at it. This is the Healthy Plate handout with a plant-based twist on it, right? So want to take a look at that. A lot of us grew up with the food pyramid, right? If you remember that from school, the food pyramid. Now they shifted it over to a plate. So we want to make half of our plate dedicated to colorful fruits and vegetables, really eating that rainbow, a fourth of it to protein. In this class, we're focusing on plant-based protein, such as beans and legumes or tofu. And then on the right-hand side, we've got a quarter of our plate dedicated to whole whole grains, so we're not vilifying or restricting ourselves from eating starches or grains, but we are being intentional about the types of grains that we're choosing. So we talk about that as well. If you're interested in learning more about this healthy plate concept, we do offer a separate 90-minute virtual class taught by our registered dietitians at Kaiser Permanente called Get Your Plate in Shape. And that will explore a lot of different eating styles using this same concept. So I can give you more details about that at the end of today's session if you're interested. And before we get into the cooking fun, I'm going to pull up each of the recipes. Chef is going to be just giving a highlight, an overview of some of the ingredients. And again, these recipes can be found in the email invitation for class. You got those links, so if you want to print them yourself or write on them, you can do that as well. We also want to just acknowledge that there might be a range of people attending tonight. For some of you, maybe it's your first time and you're just kind of dipping your toes in and seeing what this is all about, just saying, how do I get vegetables on my plate? For others of you, maybe you've been doing this for a while and you're refining your plant-based approach. So just know that we want to provide you the knowledge, the resources to move in the direction you choose at the pace that you choose. You don't have to do this all overnight. And the recipes we're sharing, they're adaptable. You can change them to your personal taste and preferences. And like I said, if you have any questions as we go along, please put them in the chat. I will give Chef an opportunity to share any substitutions if needed. But ultimately, I hope that you're inspired and you start to be excited about cooking from home more often. So with that, I'm going to, well, I got one more slide to talk about. This is just what it looks like. If you're wondering where to find those links to the recipes, this is what it looks like. So we got the chopped salad with vinaigrette, the coleslaw with Asian dressing, and we added another handout, the 7 surprising ways to make delicious and healthy salads that if we have time, we'll bring that up as well so you guys can check that out. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Chef Alyssa so she can just kind of give you this overview of the recipes, and then we'll take this down and we'll highlight the food.
Yeah, okay. And Heather, I'm not sure. I actually was going to start with the chopped salad. I don't know if that matters with this, but
okay, not a big deal.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Asian mango slaw we're going to be making with fresh local bok choy, and we'll talk a little bit about that, how you can slice that up and put it in a salad and make it nice and crunchy and thin and julienne. And then we got carrots and purple cabbage. So we've got both salads are very colorful, colors of the rainbow. Fresh mango, we got chopped up, and cherry tomatoes and cilantro. So that's the salad bowl ingredients. And then we have kind of an Asian dressing, which you can make and use in other salads as well. And this one is with fresh lime juice. I used honey today. So we got lime juice, honey, toasted sesame oil, some shoyu or Bragg's. I use some Bragg's liquid aminos, and we can talk about that too. When we're making the recipe, I can show you what that looks like if you're not familiar with the bottle, explain the difference. And then some spicy sambal or sriracha. So we're going to do that just to give it a little kick. And then we're going to toss that, and there you go. Nice and simple salad.
Beautiful. Okay, that one sounds delicious. And then our second salad is going to be this chopped salad.
The chopped salad is one, again, it's very colorful. It's got a lot of ingredients, and it's got a vinaigrette. So this is another salad dressing that you can make ahead of time and just keep to use every day when you're making a salad. If you feel like just a regular standard vinaigrette, we can talk about some of the substitutions for it as well. But it's, again, really simple. It's just kind of prepping all the vegetables, tossing them together, adding the vinaigrette, and kind of letting it sit a little bit to marinate so the flavors soak in. We're not going to do that tonight, but we're going to just follow, the prompt of we'll move forward once we have the vinaigrette in, and we will then toss it in with the lettuce and avocado and the pumpkin seeds based on thinking that it sat in the fridge for a while or it just sat aside. Yeah, so you can see the final product.
Hey, Fantastic. And then this is just a quick screenshot, you guys, of the handout that'll be
Right.
attached on the email with the 7 surprising ways to make a delicious and healthy salad. So again, just want to point out that that is included in the class and you can access
Mhm.
that on your own as well. So with
Mhm.
that, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. And then I'm going to spotlight you. So hopefully
Wow.
you guys, can you all give me a thumbs up if you can see her bowl and all of the ingredients around it. Just want to make sure everybody can see that. All good. And then I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, and then the other thing, if we have time, right, we're going to
Oh
cook
yeah,
up,
the
air
chickpeas.
fry some chickpeas as a nice
Yeah,
source of vegetarian protein for salads that you can add in and top.
beautiful. Yeah,
So
love it.
we're gonna demo that too and pop it in the
These
air
are not
fryer.
going to be boring salads. We've got variety. We've got beautiful
Yeah,
salads. Lots of taste
really
and
good.
texture. Yeah.
Yeah. So this salad, the chopped salad, again, you can, there's a lot of different chopped salads out there. The concept is, they're all kind of chopped together about the same sizes. And you can really just do whatever you desire, whatever you have in the fridge. I mean, there's all kinds of, yeah, like I said, chopped salads that you can create. And so today we're going to take advantage of this time of the year. We've got some fresh tomatoes that I cut into chunks. I did take out the seeds, which is just a matter of kind of just pushing the seeds out into the sink. You can keep them. It just would make it a little more watery. So it's not a big deal, but I just want you to know that I did do that. For instance, if you've never seeded a tomato, it's basically, this is a little cherry tomato that I added. You can just push the seeds out into a side bowl, and then that just makes it a little less wet. So we have our chopped tomatoes. I have some fresh corn I got at the farmer's market. So I cut it off of the rib. And this was about 2 corn kernels, no corn. What are they called?
Cobs, corn
Cobs,
cobs.
2
Yeah.
corn cobs. And then I have 2 ribs of celery that I chopped up.
Did you cook the corn cob first or is it raw?
I did not, no.
Okay, so it's raw
It's
corn.
raw.
Okay.
So you can do what you want, but I generally do it raw.
Okay.
And then I have some bell peppers. I got some small bell peppers. I happen to be at Kaiser this Tuesday, and they had the farmer's market. So I got a bunch of these ingredients at that nice little market there in the town,
Yes.
Honolulu town, Kaiser.
Yeah, I hope you guys will check out if you're around the clinics. We do offer farmers markets several days a week. And I know Chef was saying earlier she got the majority of her ingredients over there. So
Yeah, it was so fun.
yeah.
And then this recipe calls for some red onion. And what I did was I chopped it a little finer, and I poured some water over it just to get that kind of bite, the raw onion bite out. So I have a fine mesh strainer, and I put the onion in there and just poured water over and then let it drain well. And then I just put in here. So
So it's just running the water over it enough to take the bite, or do you need to soak it for a little bit?
I actually
Or
just
either way.
run it
Okay,
through. You can soak it too.
perfect.
Yeah, let me show you the strainer that I have.
Okay. All right. And then Yvonne, I will ask your question too.
It's just this kind of a mesh strainer, but something that you can run water through.
Perfect.
So I've got the red onion and then the chickpeas. So I had some chickpeas that I had cooked up, dried, and so I have them in here. I'm going to add in, and then we'll toss this together.
And you could just do canned chickpeas as well,
Yes,
yeah?
yes. I just happen to have some in the fridge, and I have some canned ones that I'm going to use for the roasting.
Great.
They were a little firmer, so I thought I would use the softer ones for the salad. It's just an executive decision on my part. So I'm just going to toss this here. You can see how colorful it is. And I'm going to then make the salad dressing. So you can see it's nice and simple.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And we did have a question about the dressing. Someone was wondering if you could substitute balsamic vinegar.
Yes, you most certainly can. That was one of the things I was going to mention.
Oh, great.
So perfect. So what I have here is I have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, or you could use balsamic. I have 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. I always try and have some fresh lemons and limes in the house. They make such a difference, you know, when you're making things like this. I have some fresh mustard. Excuse me, I have some mustard. This is yellow mustard. You can use any kind that you want in here, whatever preference you have. And then the recipe says minced garlic. I actually put this garlic through a garlic press. So you can mince it fine or just put it through a garlic press. I really like those. Salt and pepper. So I have some just salt and pepper. I'm going to put you in. And then if you really like this dressing, you can double it. Then you'll have it to use on your salad throughout the week. And this kind of a dressing will last for a while. Okay, and then so I've got a whisk, or you can use a fork, or you can use, I was just trying to get the mustard off that spoon. And then I'm going to add in I mixed all that together. Then I'm going to add in the olive oil. And it's 1/4 of a cup olive oil. And not to make a mess.
Yeah.
Talk to myself.
I love your little whisk. Look how cute that is. Just a little tiny
Yeah,
whisk.
right? It's amazing. You find these little things
Or you can
random.
put the cover on and just shake it.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
you don't have a
That's why,
tiny whisk.
yeah, that's why I love to save jars, right?
Yeah.
Probably a jelly jar. Then I'm going to toss this in here. I'll put that, sorry, move back. Toss this in here. And then I am going to stir it.
Wow.
Toss, stir, coat it well. And then I am going to make believe that we put this in the marinate in the refrigerator or on the side. It's kind of nice to have this as a cold salad. So it's been 30 minutes, right? Bring it back. And then after 30 minutes, you can add in fresh chopped romaine. Avocado. This is 1 avocado cut up. Some pumpkin seeds, which I think I'll save some of these for the topping. They're pretty. And then, oh my goodness, you think I can do this without? This makes a lot of salad.
I was just thinking this would be great for meal prep, for lunch for the week. Put
Right.
that in there, and you could maybe hold on, not put the dressing on right away, right? Put the dressing, keep it in a container, and then take it to work and have that for lunch. Be great.
Right, or you can marinate, everything except for the lettuce.
The lettuce. Add that the day of.
Right. Or double the dressing and just have a little dressing to toss with the salad, the lettuce.
I know for me too, I like to toast the pumpkin seeds,
and
then I spray them with a little bit of the brag, so it adds a little bit of salty kind of umami flavor to it, and then that's nice in there too. They do have bags of pumpkin seeds usually at Costco too, right? The sprouted pumpkin seeds, they got them there.
Yes, they do. Okay, this guy's taking a while. I just want to make sure that lettuce is well coated. Oh, and off it goes.
Let her run away. Any questions, you guys, as she's kind of stirring this up? Does this seem doable? A little bit of chopping involved up front, but after that, look at what you get.
Listen to some music or favorite podcast or something while you're prepping, having a nice telephone call with your
family members. Yeah,
right. Okay, you can see
Multitask.
that is just nice and fresh and delicious
Yeah,
looking. You could take this to a
a
potluck,
party.
right?
Yeah,
And then you can just
absolutely.
add in the lettuce at the end.
Hmm. Oh, somebody was asking if it needs to be sunflower seeds.
Yeah, it can be pumpkin, sunflower, it can
Okay, any
be
seed.
toasted almonds,
Whatever you have in the house or that's
whatever
available.
you, right. I mean, that's the fun part about this is you can just use what you got. The other thing I was thinking about is with the vinaigrette, if you just want to add just a hint of maple, if you want just something kind of to balance out the vinegar, you can add just like a tablespoon of maple syrup.
Hmm,
Oh, that looks so good.
it does look really good.
Yeah,
But it's a great idea too, like you said, if you need to bring it to parties. I know graduations are going to be coming up next month. Maybe you're going to parties and you might be wondering, ooh, what am I going to eat? What's healthy that's there?
right,
How beautiful is this to be able to bring? And then we can, right, fill our healthy plate, making half of our plate vegetables. We got it right here.
right. And the other thing you can do with this that's fun is you can add cilantro or parsley, fresh basil. That you can add some fresh herbs in there, even some dill if you want to. So there's all kinds of ways you can change this recipe out,
Nice.
depending upon the time of the year and what you can find in the market.
Yeah,
Maybe you've got a garden full of fresh herbs. Yeah.
that's my next goal, to have fresh herb garden.
Oh
I
my
love
goodness.
dill.
Yes, I do too. Anybody have any questions? You can see how nice and easy that is.
Mhm.
Just a little bit of prep work.
Yeah, any other questions, you guys? I want to reach through the screen and bring it over to
I
my house.
know. Yeah, it does look
Oh, somebody was
amazing.
asking, could you put some tofu on it?
For sure. I would probably use some baked tofu, uh, some firm baked tofu. That would be good.
Mm.
It might
Hmm.
crumble in the tossing, but that would be my thought. There are those in the market. But yeah, tofu would be nice. Little tofu croutons. I have a recipe for tofu
Ooh,
croutons. Same thing in
nice.
the air fryer. You can just cut them in small cubes, extra firm, and then toss them. Maybe a little Bragg's, a little bit of olive oil. I'm trying to think. Sometimes you can use I think I have with the chickpeas some turmeric. You can make it a
Hmm.
little yellow. You can add some curry powder. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Nutritional
Hmm.
yeast. Yeah, you can really have fun seasoning it up.
Yeah. Oh, we got some ideas with cucumber. That would be another good fresh one for
Cucumber
this.
would be
Hmm.
great in here, especially, if you're going to eat it right away. You're
Yep.
going to eat it right away with the lettuce. So, yeah, add
Yep.
some cucumber. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, so just be aware if you are going to save this for meal prep or something over several days, that like the tomatoes or the cucumber might not hold up as well by day 4. So,
Yeah,
put the base together and then add some of those more sensitive vegetables as it gets like the day of, like the lettuce and
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah. And the avocado. Yeah,
The
very good.
avocado, yep.
Good point.
Hmm. All right. Ben's saying it's
Okay.
definitely doable, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So I am going to just put this in away and then bring out the other ingredients for the Asian slaw. So give me a few minutes or a minute.
Okay. We will do that, and I will try to put a copy of the recipe for the Asian slaw into the chat here. It shows up really small, so I don't know if that's helpful for you guys or not. But again, just remember that you do have the links to those recipes in the email. Hopefully you can access those.
Okay.
And salads are such a great way to, we want to eat the rainbow, eat all the different colors, all the nutrients that are vitamins that are available. So this is such a creative way to be able to accomplish that.
Great. Okay, so we're going to whisk together the salad ingredients here on this one too. So let me just get another big bowl. Oh, right. And I wanted to show how to cut the bok choy.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. I guess I could do it right over here. Yeah, like that.
Yep, that works great.
Okay. So in this recipe, it calls for bok choy, kind of instead of like regular white cabbage. And just wanted to show you, I don't think a lot of people they think of steaming bok choy, but not really like putting it into a slaw. So I just kind of wanted to showcase it. So this is bok choy. I don't know if you're familiar with that. This might be easier to show. This is what bok choy looks like in the market. It's got that kind of a, what would you describe that? Kind of a bulbous.
Kind of a bulb. Yeah.
Yeah, and bottom. So in case you're wondering what it looks like in the store, they sell it. Like that, usually you can pick it out as you want, however much you want. So I cut the end off, and then what I do is I work at an angle, so that it's and you know, some of them are kind of big. I mean, this is actually a small one, but sometimes I will slice the green part if it's a really big leaf, just because I'm trying to think about, you know, when people are putting it in their mouth, if it's not like dripping down their chin or.
How courteous of you.
I know. I kind
If
of
you're
think of
bringing it
like
to the party.
the first date concept, you know, where you don't want to have all this stuff, like you're trying to choose something that not gonna, you're not gonna embarrass yourself by eating in front of somebody you don't know. So you can see I kind of cut it at an angle, and then that kind of makes it easy to also to eat as well as to absorb the salad dressing. Okay.
Nice. Thank you for demonstrating that. I wouldn't have known how to cut that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just think about cutting it across, and but anyways, so this recipe is combine all salad ingredients in a mixing bowl, so nice and simple. It just is, again, the prep, a little bit of prep work ahead of time. So I've got the bok choy, and I grated some carrot, and let me grab this. Okay, I've got some carrots. And I have some purple cabbage. I try and slice my cabbage kind of thin.
Can you grate the cabbage? Have you ever done that? I don't know.
Yeah, I just find if you grate cabbage, I kind of feel like at the bottom, it all just goes to the bottom of the bowl.
Oh,
I mean, that's just my thought of it, unless you're, doing something like that has a potato in it that would catch it kind of up. That's just where I go with cabbage. I tend to grate it. Whatever is easy to do and you will do it, I'd say that's the key. I had some mango. So here's some mango for you.
And someone asked if you can use regular cabbage, or should it be the purple cabbage?
Sure. Purple cabbage just tends to have more nutrients in it. Plus it's pretty, You can use regular cabbage. And if it's not mango season, you can use cooked sweet potato. That goes really good in here. So we have some fresh cherry tomatoes and some cilantro. Some sesame seeds would be nice as a topping on this. I was just thinking that just now. That would be pretty. Okay, so there you have this beautiful salad. And I'm going to get some tongs. more toss. Toss that up a little bit. Makes a good amount too.
It's so vibrant against that. Is it a black bowl or a blue bowl?
It's
Kind of
actually
hard
a
to tell.
dark blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and then we will make the dressing. Wow, it's so pretty. So the other, if you don't have, like, you don't see bok choy, you can use pak choy. I don't know if you've heard of pak choy before, but it's similar, but it's a little bigger and it's got a white stem, which is really crunchy and delicious in this dish as well. You could also use just a really nice head of romaine lettuce. It won't be as sturdy, I guess would be the word. And the other one would be tot soy, which you don't see tot soy too often in the markets, but tot soy would be an option.
Right.
Okay.
And then you can be flexible too. Like if you don't want the cilantro, you could omit that, or you could add a different herb and it would be okay.
Yeah, fresh mint would be lovely in here.
Oh, okay.
You got an option of fresh mint, even basil, Thai basil, that would be nice. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun things you could do with this. Okay, so I have some fresh lime juice. I'm going to add in here. I have some fresh, I had a, excuse me, I'll use this. A spatula. So I have some fresh honey, lime juice, honey. And this is the Bragg's liquid aminos. If people aren't familiar with that, I can bring out the bottle.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay, it's a shoyu substitute. Let me pull it out of the fridge. It's called, let's see if I do this way.
Yep.
Bragg's liquid aminos, gluten-free shoyu, soy protein seasoning. It's got a little different flavor than shoyu. How to describe it? It's just similar to, it's made vegetable protein from soybeans and water. You can find it in the market by where they sell shoyu. Do you use it, Heather?
Yeah, that's all I use.
Okay, so how would you describe it? I mean, people love it. You know, a lot of people, once they use Bragg's, they just use Bragg's for instead of shoyu. I don't know quite how to.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe the difference between that and shoyu because I've only used the Bragg's, but it also comes in a spray bottle, which is handy. So, you know, if you just want to add a little bit of that flavor to something, you're not committed to like pouring it out of the bottle. So we have, I have the bottle one for cooking when I need tablespoons or quarter cups of something versus the spray, which is great for just kind of adding on the food once it's cooked.
Right. Yeah. And I refill the spray bottle. I don't know if you do that too.
Yep, I do that too.
It's a small spray bottle and then you just.
It'll last you forever. Yep.
Yeah.
Less waste.
So anyways, if you don't have Bragg's, you can use shoyu. And then I put in the sambal, which is the spicy. I think everyone's probably, being in Hawaii, is familiar with sambal or sriracha. Otherwise, I can show you the bottle of that too. Anybody?
Yeah, somebody's asking, what is agave and sambal?
Okay.
You can showcase those two. Thanks for the questions, you guys. That's really helpful so that we're not just assuming people know things. We want to be able to have you walking away with knowledge and your questions answered. So thanks, Andrea.
Back to my fridge. Let me get it. Okay, so back to my new fridge. So this is agave, which is a sweetener that comes from the, oh gosh, what is the plant? Agave?
The agave plant.
Agave plant, right? So it's the nectar that comes from the agave. Actually got this one from Good and Gather, so it's from Target. Costco used to sell a 2-pack. I don't know if they still do. I don't use it that much, so I don't really need that volume. And then this is the sriracha that you can see in a lot of Asian restaurants, that you make your food really hot and spicy. If you haven't seen that before, At the Kaiser Farmers Market, they had a really cute little bottle. I don't know if you've ever
Oh,
seen
really?
that. Yeah, it
Oh.
was like maybe 5 ounces. This is 17. It's like I wanted to buy it just because it was so cute.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so good
Yeah,
to know.
so
You don't have to.
between the sweeteners, it's kind of like the honey, the maple syrup, the agave are somewhat interchangeable with slightly different flavor profiles. I think the agave is a little bit higher on the sweet scale, but lower in terms of raising your glycemic index. So if you're concerned about your blood sugars, then this one might be a little better choice for that.
And I think
Hmm.
for flavor wise too, I think this is the
Hmm.
more neutral. Like if you know
Mm,
if you're doing like an Asian dressing, maple syrups kind of don't really match, but agave kind of blends in. Honey can be, a lot of different honeys have distinctive honey
that's true.
flavors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think this is a good, easy one when you need a sweetener that you don't want the sweetener really to stand out, but it balances things. Uh,
Mm, hmm.
that's kind of my way of thinking on how to use agave. So, okay, and then I have some toasted sesame oil. So 2 teaspoons is 2/3 of a tablespoon. So I'm just gonna fill that like there. And then this is our dressing. So that is it. Again, this is a great dressing that you can use for other things. It's a wonderful marinade. You could marinate some tofu in this. Uh, use it for any kind of salad that's you want a little different kind of a kick to it. All right. Oh, well, that was good that I stirred that over. It's like spilled. I just wanted to get that combined. Okay.
And Ursula was asking about the farmers markets and what are the hours, and they're on Oahu. And I was going to look up the hours today, and I did not. I did not look
Gosh,
them
yeah,
up.
maybe
I will see if I
then
can find it before the end of class.
I
And
think it
then
might be like,
Ben, yeah,
yeah, 9 to 1 or something like
certain
that.
days of the week they're at certain clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And then Ben was said, can you use makina Chinese cabbage instead of bok choy?
Yeah, one bok? Sure. Yes, you definitely could. I don't know if, like, I know that bok choy has a lot of good, you just see it over and over again that it's got a lot of good nutrients. And people, you read that bok choy is good to, as a green to get in your diet. I'm not sure as much Napa cabbage or white cabbage. I think they all have I think all green vegetables have a lot of worth. So again, if you have it and that's your preference, I'd say go for it. And this is good. You can eat it right away, but you can let it sit a little bit too. Probably not like overnight because, the lime juice will soften it a bit. But it might be, sometimes it's kind of fun to eat a salad the next day that, especially this isn't lettuce, right? So it'll hold
Right.
up a little bit more, definitely. So what I'm going to do is, does anyone have any questions on this one? I can put it in the, oh, we didn't take a picture, yeah, but we can do that after.
Yeah.
Put this
Yeah.
in
No.
it.
Yeah, people are excited and they know how to use the bok choy now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah,
right. It's kind of
excited
fun
about
just
it.
to use it a different way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
And
never
even,
used bok choy in a salad, so I'm
right,
excited to try this too.
yeah.
So did you do sesame seeds? Would you toast it?
Yeah, you could. Sometimes I just put sesame seeds on because I think it's so pretty. And I just love plain sesame seeds
Mm-hmm.
personally. I do a lot of tahini and I'll put sesame seeds on top and on my rice. And but toasting really it does enhance the flavor.
Hmm. Sometimes you
Yeah,
can even buy the bottle of toasted sesame seeds
can I
already done.
see? I think it tastes so much better if you do it
Hmm.
yourself. But
Mm,
seeds can get rancid
that's
quick.
true.
Those big
That's true.
those containers that you get in the Asian markets of sesame seeds that are toasted. I just don't think they taste that good, but it could be me
Mm.
just being picky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good
I think
reminder too, if you do have nuts or seeds at home, like I know for myself, I tend to keep them in the fridge so they don't go
yes,
rancid, you know, if you're
mhm,
buying them in bulk. Do you do that
definitely.
as well? Yeah.
Fridge and freezer. Yeah, definitely. I was going to say too, a lot of times I will make more of a traditional slaw, like the regular mayonnaise, again, I'll do agave, mayonnaise, agave, uh, maybe lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, sometimes poppy seeds. But I will cut in, I love to put in, even if you're doing the regular cabbage, some bok choy or pak choy or something a little green. It just really is nice. It adds a little difference. Sometimes even that really tender kale, I'll
Hmm.
just julienne it up and add it in just for the color. So it's just a thought to think that, outside the box that you can even add it into that, like more of a traditional slaw.
Nice. And somebody asked about seaweed.
Seaweed. Seaweed in
Seaweed
its,
in the salad, I think. Yeah, that might have a little strong flavor. What do you think?
well, I guess it depends on the seaweed. I went initially to nori, which I would think that's not what you're asking. I think you're probably asking like a hijiki or oi, what's the one I haven't used in a long time that's similar to hijiki? Arame. Yeah. Yeah, you could. I probably wouldn't, but you do see seaweed salads that are
Mm.
kind of similar. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
pretty cucky.
Oh, that. Hmm. I wouldn't have thought of that, but sure, you could do it if you. Sometimes the nori, I don't know about nori getting even that
Soggy.
might get a
Mm.
little soggy, but it
Sounds like we're
could
on
be
the fence with
okay.
that one, Andrea. You can experiment
Yeah.
with it though and
Yeah,
report
you
back.
can try it. It's really,
Yeah,
whatever you enjoy.
yeah.
Um, but I never really think of nori as kind of getting wet.
Hmm.
I don't know, but that could just be me not having that experience and that it's fine. So
And then someone
I do
asked
want
about
to,
the frozen mango. We tried that?
yeah, I don't know. I think I would, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like
So,
fresh. I
yeah.
haven't worked with a lot of frozen mangoes to know how it defrosts and what the texture's like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's
So,
too soggy. There we go. Okay.
hmm.
That would be my thought that
Yeah.
it wouldn't work with this. So, a real good mango, a fresh mango is so delightful. So if you, it's coming into the season. I mean, I'm seeing them in the
Hmm.
market. So
Hmm.
I did find this one.
Good time to meet your neighbor if they have a mango tree.
Oh my goodness. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Great questions, you guys,
Yeah.
though. But
Yeah.
I'm excited about how you guys are thinking about how you might adapt this or make it work for you, and report back to us if you try some of these variations of it.
I'm
Be great.
gonna get the air fryer going.
Ooh, we're gonna make some chickpeas, some fried chickpeas. These are a great way to add texture. Like if you don't want to have the croutons in there, right? Croutons have a lot of refined starches and they're highly processed. So we can use chickpeas as a way to add some flavor and crunch to the salads. And I think she's gonna show us, if you have an air fryer at home, great tool. Play around with it, experiment with it. And I think you said you could also do it over the stove as well, if you don't have an air fryer,
Yes, you
or
can
roast
just
them.
do it in a skillet.
Hmm.
Let's see, will that
Okay.
work? Kind of, sort of. Did
Hmm.
I just mess things up? Why do I feel
No,
like it?
it's I
Okay,
can
stop.
see.
Okay. Yeah, I do it before I got this um, uh, smart oven that has an air frying option. I did saute it on just in a skillet, and it's just a different way of making it, but it still works. So I have a can of drained chickpeas that are relatively dry. And you could even make it a little. Do you pat yours dry?
I do, because otherwise they don't tend to crisp up very well.
All right, I'm
Um,
going to get a paper towel and dry mine.
and like if I'm throwing kale or anything else, yeah, that's kind of the hard part is you rinse it off, and then if that dampness is still on there, kind of doesn't make them as crispy.
Okay, of course I'm going to have them flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes their little skin comes off of them too, once
Yeah.
I start doing that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that helped. Thank you very much for that
Hmm.
tidbit because you air fry more than I do. It's always nice to have just like this, right? People who can guide you to doing things that might not be your norm.
Hmm. Well, somebody was asking about the aquafaba, and I think you do use that for some baking and stuff, which we probably
I
won't get into too much of that today, but there is a use for
Yeah,
the drainage, what is it, the juice in the can.
yes. I almost saved mine because I've got these aquafaba blondies that I really like to make, and actually you can make it with chickpeas. And I was just
Mm.
thinking, oh, I haven't made that bar cookie in a while, but as I was watching it go down the drain, you know.
And that's a replacement, I forget, for eggs, is it?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just put that in the chat so you guys have it.
Yeah.
If
So
you get
okay, so
curious, you can look it up.
yes, yes, you can, and we can touch on that. You know, we can make a point of you and I trying to remember to, yeah,
Well, and with
get
the price of
some,
eggs, right, that everybody's talking about, maybe learning this aquafaba trick might be help with the
right,
finances.
right. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, as I'm finding more skins, I'm just taking them off on the side. Okay, so what I have, and you can really do whatever you desire, but today I'm going to go with a little bit of olive oil for coating. Okay, and then I have some garlic powder because I've been reading about how wonderful garlic is for you, and garlic powder would probably be good for this versus chopped garlic that might burn, right, with a high heat. With a little bit of salt, or you could do the Bragg's, right? You could do a little Bragg's. What do you think,
Yeah.
Heather?
Try
A
it. I
little bit,
haven't
a
tried the
little bit
Brags. Yeah,
red.
try it.
Okay,
Mhm.
just do a little because that's wet,
Mhm.
right? Adding
Mhm.
more moisture. And then I have some turmeric because that's an anti-inflammatory. Plus, it makes it nice and yellow. It's a great way to get it in. Then I have some smoked paprika because that'll give it a nice smoky flavor. So that's nice if you're just topping a regular salad. This will give it some nice flavor. And then I just have a little bit of black pepper. Black pepper can help with your digestion. So I'm just going to toss it. You could add a little kick. You could add cayenne to this if you want.
Mm.
A little bit of sriracha if you so desire, which is right here. Anything else that you would suggest?
No, I think just have fun with it. If you know you're kind of preferred, or maybe you want to start safe and it's just, garlic powder and some salt and pepper, maybe a little
Right.
bit of spice, start there. And then as
Mm-hmm.
you get more comfortable with different recipe, I mean, just different tastes, just kind of experiment with them.
Do you add a little olive oil when you air fry or do you not?
I usually do a little bit and then I add my spices to it and then put them in the air fryer.
Okay,
Hmm.
all right. So this is a parchment paper lined baking tray because my air fryer is a setting in my smart oven. So I'm going to, I think yours is a little different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there's different, maybe you could talk about that a little bit. I don't know. There's you buy just a straight air fryer, right?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think
the kind you have?
yeah, just like one that has a little drawer that you pull out and you can add stuff to and put it in. And the thing I love about the air fryers, especially as we're moving into the summer months and you don't want to turn the oven on, it's hot, it uses a lot of electricity. The air fryer can be a great alternative. You can roast vegetables and things like that and, under 10 minutes a lot of the time. So you don't have to roast for 40 minutes in the oven being on. So if you have one or if you've been a little tentative about trying it, I would just kind of give you that little nudge of encouragement to check it out. It can be a real time saver, and it crisps things up quite nicely. And it's also good for reheating, I find. So if I have something, maybe I cook it in the air fryer, it's nice and crispy, and the next day you take it out of the fridge, it's a little bit soggy. So then I'll just reheat it for a couple minutes in the air fryer, and it kind of crisps back up again. So it can be great for that. But yeah, let us know if any of you are using, anybody else there using air fryers? Is that a tool you use in your kitchen? All right, Heather said yes. Oh, good. Have you guys used it for vegetables or tofu or chickpeas or anything like that? And a lot of people use it like for when you buy at the store, you buy fries or things like that, right? The pre-made stuff. Ooh, smashed potatoes sounds good.
Oh, yeah, that
Sometimes.
sounds delicious.
Yeah, great.
Okay, it's
Excuse me.
just a little
And I'm just
serving.
admiring all your little serving bowls and your measuring bowls. Yeah, so beautiful. And I think that's a good reminder too, is that, you know, having beautiful servingware, a favorite plate or a favorite bowl, and maybe it's just for you that you can put your food in and it makes you feel happy when you look at it and feel vibrant. That's a part of the dining process too. We eat with our eyes.
Right, presentation. Little sesame, black and white sesame seeds.
Hmm. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
look at that.
Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, good. Mary air fries half moon sweet potatoes or Okinawa potato as a crunchy starch. Beautiful. Sounds delicious. Great.
And so we have this salad here. I got the, well, I guess I can't show you. Can I show you sideways? Does it?
Sure. That looks great.
No, I was just going to show the bowl, but found this
Mm.
really.
Yeah, if you scooch it up, if you scooch the placemat up maybe about an inch, we could probably get the whole thing in the picture.
I found these, let's see if I can do it this way. These really beautiful, I don't know where they're from,
Wow.
bowls, like Simon bowls, but this is the second one. I don't think I can do it. Yeah, it's not going to show. But anyways, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was my dollar find this week.
Nice. Well, that's a good reminder. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Push the whole thing up just a little bit and we get it all. Great. And that's a good reminder too. We can always go to, Goodwill or some of those places to find a pretty bowl or something that we like to. It doesn't have to be expensive. Yvonne is asking, how long can the chickpeas be unroasted in the fridge? And I'll let you answer that, and I have an answer too.
Unroasted in the fridge. You're just saying if I have a can of chickpeas that I've
Mm-hmm.
rinsed and drained and have there.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I'd say probably about 4 or 5 days. I
Mm-hmm.
usually give, I had those ones that I put in this salad, the chopped salad, I had cooked up last week and I had them in the back of the fridge and it actually had iced over in the liquid. So I wasn't worried about it, right? So it's kind of also what you got going, what your fridge is like. Hopefully that gives you a
Mm-hmm.
good, I just smell something if I'm wondering, give it a bite.
Give it a rinse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say probably about, 3 days, 4 days, depending
Mhm.
upon that. Sometimes I will make a batch with the chickpeas and maybe some carrots and what else do I put in there? And potato and put my seasonings on it, my olive oil, the seasonings, and then I just leave that in the fridge and then I just air fry a little portion of it for dinner each night. So I don't air fry the whole thing at once. I just kind of have it marinated in the fridge and kind of portion it out, air fry cook what I'm gonna have for that night. And I typically find by about, 3, 4 days that will last marinated like that.
That's nice. Good
Hmm.
idea.
Yeah. Okay, other questions? So yes, Andrew summed it up nicely. 3 to 5 days. Yeah,
Did
you're
you want
welcome.
did you want to go over that flyer, the thing about how
Yeah,
to
we
make
can take a quick look at the ways to make a salad, the handout that we had, included in the confirmation email while our chickpeas are finishing up here, and then
right?
we'll end with that. Um,
3 more minutes going.
okay,
Yeah.
great. So I don't know if you want to talk it through, or I could bring up the flyer itself if you guys
Yeah,
want to
maybe bring
see
it
it.
up and then yeah, one of the things that the flyer talked about was using warm greens, which I think is a great idea, or
Mm,
I a
mhm.
lot of times will work with brown rice. That's just kind of if I'm going to do a bowl. Um, but quinoa is really nice too. And you can do a lot of things with quinoa and toss in some of these dressings would be great.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
just going to share this screen here, and hopefully you guys can see that.
So having a bowl
There
of
we go.
cooked grains just in your fridge each week is you can just play with it from there. Yeah, I usually have some cooked brown rice all the time, and then or quinoa, and then just sometimes I will do a quick heating it up and then just add whatever I've got to go. Some baked tofu. You know, I know I've mentioned it before, I'm a big tahini sauce girl. So tahini sauce, fresh herbs are wonderful, you know, when you got cooked grains or a salad. Uh, so that's always nice if you have it in your fridge. And then it talks about, I'm sorry, before we move on, Heather, is there something that you wanted to add? Do something you do with the grains that you really like?
Oh no, I mean I think it just reminds me of Buddha bowls. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
a popular thing right now is adding grains, and that was such a big turning point for me. Was I never thought about adding warm farro or warm rice to my
Hmm.
salad, and it made it feel
Hmm.
so much more hearty, like a meal. So
Yeah,
yeah, totally agree with what you're saying.
definitely. And then it talks about turning your favorite meal into a salad. And so it mentioned burgers and did you say gyro? I don't know how to pronounce that, but
Euro, yep.
yeah, I do something along that lines with diced tomatoes and cucumbers, and yeah, I really like the adding that. Sometimes I do like a little kind of a creamy dressing, and it's just so nice and crunchy. Lemon juice, but the going into or the pickling. Wait, which one? Oh, the sushi. I really like doing that kind of a flavor profile. And that's where I would use the furikake, you know, would be the brown rice and sometimes the seasoned baked tofu. And I'll put the furikake on the rice and just work out the salad from there with maybe cut up some nori, you know, strips, the seasoned nori and some cucumber and the avocado. I mean, that is, I go there a lot with that's a lot of fun, those flavors. And then just working like with sweet potatoes and butternut squash. I mean, there's so many ways you can really have fun with this, right? And just work out and not just make it being like a lettuce salad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, taking that whole concept of the bowls. And then it goes into the creative with your protein powder. I mean, protein power and the chickpeas. So, which my oven just beeped. So I'm going to go see how they look.
All right,
Um,
great.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to take down this, but again, just know that these resources are available for you. They just give some creative ways to keep it interesting. Because, right, we can always think we're going to eat healthy. A lot of people just think, oh, I'll just eat salads, and then we get burnt out on the salads and we stop. So this is a way to keep it interesting. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that.
So I put it onto the basket. I
Uh-huh.
transferred it. But yeah, these are nice and crispy and warm and crunchy. And
Nice.
I love the idea too, like you said, to reheat them, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the next day if they're get kind of soft. But anyways,
Yep.
they taste really good. I wish I could share them with you.
Me too. Sure, we'd all agree with that. Uh, Well, good. Well, I think we've shared a lot of really great tips today. And oh, yes, you can have them as snacks. Absolutely. I love them
Yeah.
having them as
Hmm.
snacks.
Hmm.
And I hope you guys are taking away a lot of great tips. I want to just pull up the PowerPoint one more time as we kind of close out. And if you have any last minute questions for Chef before, I know we're about 1 minute away from class ending. I want to respect everybody's time, but we're happy to stay on and make sure that you guys are feeling really confident how to move forward. So if you have questions, quick put them in the chat. And I hope to see you guys all here next month. We do this every month. And next month it'll be May 22nd. We'll be covering local favorites. So how we can take some of our favorite local foods and make them in a little bit healthier version. So we hope to see you for that. And if you want some support in implementing the cooking or maybe on a different area of lifestyle, right? Getting active, reducing stress, just want to highlight that we have wellness coaches such as myself. We're here to partner alongside you so you don't have to do it alone. Again, change can be scary, it can be a little hard, so having that support and accountability can help us to be successful. So you can self-book on kp.org, or you can call us and we'll get scheduled. And here on the screen, just a quick snapshot of our class calendar for May. So if you like this class, maybe you'll be interested in checking out some of our other ones as well. They're all offered virtually. We offer them every month. They're taught by wellness coaches and registered dietitians. We are here for you, you guys. We want to support your health and well-being. So with that, thank you all for being here today. I hope
Yes.
you were inspired, and we'll come back next month and tell us how you tried this and maybe gave it your own signature, boost with a favorite flavor or vegetable that you tried. And I will go ahead and take this part down and we'll showcase our food and Chef Alyssa one more time. And let me just scroll through the chats here, see if there was anything else. We got lots of mahalos.
Yeah,
And
and
much appreciation. Oh, somebody said, Peggy asked, how long did you roast the chickpeas for?
I
And every
did
air
these
fryer
for,
is a little different, but
yeah, that was 8 minutes.
8 minutes, Peggy. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Okay.
there's still some, yeah, there's this flyer has some good stuff in it. So if you want to, we didn't go over everything, but it's got some good tips. So go ahead and have a look at it when you got some free time.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, as Catherine said, these salads would be perfect for the upcoming hot summer days. So it's good to be planning
Yeah.
in advance.
Mm. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Other
Well,
than that,
thank you
mahalo,
all.
everybody. Thank you, Chef Alyssa, for again
Thank
sharing
you.
your
Appreciate it.
knowledge. It's so inspirational. And I love that every month, like we can't say we get bored because every month we get new recipes. So there's no
Right. Change it
excuses.
up. Thank
We got
you.
lots of mahalos coming in, lots of appreciation, people feeling excited to cook. Awesome. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys next month, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Chef Alyssa, for your perseverance with technology.
Oh,
And
thank
hopefully we'll be
you.
all set
Right,
for next time as well. That'll be
for
good.
sure.
Uh, all right. Have a
Okay.
wonderful evening.
You too.
Okay. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.